Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm getting a few things turned on here. As you can see, it is raining here where I am. Nice, consistent rain all day. I'm here. What's up, guys? Thank you guys for joining. What's going on? All of a sudden, the moment I go live, I get messages. Okay. Let me get a few things turned on since it's been a while and I haven't gone live. My setup took a second to get back in order. So I'm going to get your guys' comments pulled up on here. Hopefully I can see them over here, but there's things blocking the screen. So hello, Carol, Lady May, Linda, Diane, Cheryl, Alicia in the house. Alicia, what's up? Mod Alicia here. Coffee Buzz, hey, how's it going? Monty, watched it a few days ago. Thank you. Of course, Jennifer Harris in the chat. Guys, thank you for for stopping by. Okay, this is not, I don't think, gonna let me do live comments, so I will do it on the laptop. Ooh. Hello from the Bay Area. Welcome back. Thank you. It has been a while. It has been months. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me turn my mic up just a little bit. It has been months since I have been live on YouTube. A lot has happened. The documentary that has been out, or that I've been working on for months, is now out. If you have not seen it, the link to it is in the description down below, as you can see. Yeah, it's the Dolly Madison Murders documentary, now streaming on Tubi. Please, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. If you are not in America, it will soon be out on Apple TV. But Tubi, I believe, is only US, Canada, maybe a few other countries. So if you're not in a country that supports Tubi right now, it should be coming to Apple TV really soon. Tubi is a free-to-watch platform on both your computer, tablet, cell phone. Like, for instance, I have it here on my iPad. It's a Tubi app. It's free to watch. You can open it up. Boom. It loads. I don't even think you need to technically create like an account. But boom, like we scroll on Tubi for like 2 scrolls here, and under first time on Tubi, there it is. There it is. The Dolly Madison Murders. That is it right there. Front and center. If you do watch it and you click it, hit the like button. That really helps out the stream, or the algorithm on Tubi, and it lets Tubi know that people like it enough, and it will suggest it to new viewers in the future, if that makes sense. So if you have watched it and you didn't happen to click that like button, that would be super, super appreciated. Because like I said, it really, really helps out. But thank you to the ones who have watched it already. I see Amy, Curious Cat, Nikki. I watched it. It was great. Thank you. Coffee Buzz. I even figured it out. Thank you, Coffee, for watching. Amy says Tubi is a free app. Yep. Looking forward to watching it. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people seem to have seen it already. Here it is on their, this is what the website looks like. There's tons of things to watch on Tubi if you don't just want to watch what I made. But if you can't find it under the true crime section or documentaries, you simply just click up in the search bar and type in either my name or the title, The Dolly Madison Murders. But it's also just linked down in the description. So if you happen to be watching this live stream, even when we're not live, that link will be down in the description. And then, of course, if it's out on Apple TV at the time that this is live, I will update the description and put the link to Apple TV as well. Lindsay, some smart TVs even have a Tubi button next to Netflix. Exactly. I know that my TV has that. There's a Tubi button. It's built into a lot of smart TVs nowadays, so it's really, it's good. Merp says, I'm excited. Do I leave the live now to go watch, or is that rude? You know what? I would say it's not rude. If you want to go watch it, we may still be live when you come back. I don't know how long I'm going to stay live. It certainly would not be rude if you went and watched the thing that I just spent the last year on. If anything, it would make me very happy. But at the same time, you could just hang out in the live stream with us as well and go watch it when it's convenient for you. So yeah, no worries if you leave and go watch it, but it'll be there when we're done. In addition, I feel like I'm just asking so much of you guys, but you guys have been so supportive throughout this entire thing. If you have watched it and you happen to have an IMDb account, which a lot of people don't, so don't feel the need to go do this. But you could always give it a rating on IMDb and yes, I rated my own film on IMDb, and yes, I gave it a 10 out of 10. So, you know, a fair rating on IMDb would be very helpful as well, because just like everything on the internet, there's so much out there, and it helps make certain things rise to the top a little bit more and able to be seen easier if it's rated, and, you know, if it's coming up in search higher. I'm going to let more people join. I'm loving seeing some of the regulars that would be in here on a normal stream. It's good to see you guys all in here. Diane, thank you for watching it. Thank you for that comment. I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer. I know a lot of you have seen, something just fell off my desk. I know a lot of you have seen the trailer, but I'm going to go ahead and play it now. It's a couple minutes. We'll come back and we'll keep chatting about it. But this is also for one of those, you know, Lene just watched it. A few people have seen it. For the people who haven't seen it, we may get into some stuff that is in the documentary during this live stream. So if you've seen it and you want to chat about the behind the scenes, the process a bit more, we're going to do that. This is kind of a Q&A. And then of course, if you have seen it, I have a 2-hour deep dive podcast that I uploaded a week ago on my YouTube channel. So I will eventually link that down below as well, but it's very easy to find. You just go to my YouTube and it's the most recent upload that I have. We'll get into more of that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer now, and then we'll hop back in and start chatting about it. All right, let's play the trailer. I grew up in Great Bend, Kansas. My first childhood home was 250 feet from the Dolly Madison Bakery. I've never forgotten this story, and I've always wondered why nobody has told this story on a larger scale.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hi, I do apologize, but unfortunately he's not interested in speaking with you. To be completely honest, I said your name and he flat out said no, he's not interested, and told me to tell you that.
Okay.
He's not interested.
If you're really other than a door with that time and buy 3 loaves of bread for $1 and then not even take all the money in the register.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened. It froze. But you know what? I have it on YouTube. I don't know why I just like, gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to play it from my YouTube and I'll pick back up kind of where it froze. That's super weird. I had it embedded into the stream software. I don't know why I didn't just play it off the YouTube. Okay. I'm going to play it from like here.
That he's not interested.
To the west is a bank. Caddy corner is a McDonald's. If you're going to rob someplace, I would think somewhere other than a day-old bread store where you could literally walk in at that time and buy 3 loaves of bread for $1 and then not even take all the money in the register.
2 decades and no arrests after 2 women were murdered inside the Dolly Madison Bakery in Great Bend.
The general public that was there were of course, they were concerned.
So is this blood back here? That's not blood. That can't be blood.
Yes, it is. It was 360 degrees from what you're seeing right there.
Even if just one guy did this, his DNA would be there. There's just absolutely no question. And if the evidence was preserved properly, I think they could still get DNA, definitely.
Murderers, they know who it is, but they mess stuff up. They need fresh evidence that they can't go back and get now.
This is not the only person we have identified. He's one of the people that we haven't identified.
You gotta find the dude. You have got to find out his name. Some people thought, well, maybe she pissed him off and he got one of his buddies and had her killed.
You know, somebody got away with a homicide. It happens. And 20 years later, they've got away with it so far.
Then to hang up the phone and read on Facebook that you have new evidence?
They just let it sit. They just didn't do it. Why the hell are you not? Why in the hell are you not?
This guy's probably walking past us every day. He could be in the store with us.
Okay, that is the doc. The trailer to the doc, rather. And like I said, for those who have seen it and have not seen the 2-hour deep dive, guys, it is on my YouTube channel now. It is 2 hours of just more behind the scenes, kind of the exclusive stuff that didn't make the documentary for one reason or another. And in general, since completing the documentary, I've just had so many people reach out to me. Even since the documentary's come out, I think I've had a dozen phone calls from people claiming to have information surrounding this case. And I'm taking these calls. I am documenting these calls. I don't know what's going to end up happening with these. Obviously, there could be something valuable there, could be something interesting there. But the case, even though the documentary is done and this deep dive podcast, the case has continued, which is just wild. So anyways, I'm going to read through some of your guys' comments here. I really appreciate you guys chatting amongst yourselves. Let me see what everyone is saying. I'm going to put this one up. Okay, let's see. Let me read some of these. Oh, wow. Coffee Buzz. Thank you. You did not have to do that. Coffee. Also, I feel like I saw you I did an interview, a live stream with somebody right after the doc went up. And I feel like I saw you in there, Coffee. So thank you so much for the support. Thank you. Okay. Actually, let me just read off the laptop here. Ooh. Guys, if you haven't already, also tap that like button. I know I haven't been live in literally months, so YouTube is not notifying the majority of the subscribers on this channel, so I get it. But if you haven't hit that like button, please do so. One love. It's been a while, Aaron. Glad I caught you live. Thank you. Fern Bailey. So I haven't heard of that, let alone seen your documentary, but I love your work that I've seen thus far on your YouTube channel. I'm assuming this is unsolved. Any chance this will help open it? It is an unsolved case. Yeah, sorry, it's a cold case. And I saw somebody else commented, is this a cold case earlier? Who was it? Loves Wood Heat asked, is this a cold case? Yes. I mean, it's effectively cold in the public's eye because it has gone 20 plus years now. This happened September 4th, 2002. So this past September was the 20th year anniversary of this case. So 20 plus years old, small town in the state of Kansas. Cases never truly go cold in the state of Kansas. But all things considered, yeah, it's a cold case. Do I think that this will help open it? I don't know. They've never closed it, according to the people that I've spoken with, but I hope that this at least gets people talking more than they ever have, and maybe something will come from it. Who knows? So thank you for that, Fern. Thanks again, Coffee Buzz. Really, really appreciate that. I will move my way up the comments and then come back down to some of the new ones. Did you speak to Tim Moore's girlfriend, says Alexa. No, I did not. But I have her name. Yes, I'll just say that. There are certain things that I will possibly not answer, by the way. But I will say that, no, I did not speak with Tim Moore's girlfriend. Thank you for the nice comments. I see Lindsay in the chat. Alexa also says, my husband usually doesn't like my true crime documentaries, but he really liked yours. And Alexa, I did see your email and I had not responded to it yet. I figured you might pop into the live stream. So thank you to you and your husband for watching it. Ellie Mae, you have so much talent, a future Steven Spielberg. Wow. That is quite the compliment. Thank you. I don't know about that, but really appreciate that kind comment. Vern says, oh, I don't want any spoilers, so after trailer, I'm going to go watch. Okay, yes. Go watch it, because we may talk spoilers. Steve H. Hey, Aaron, just popping into great job on the doc. Steve H., thank you. I feel like I saw your comment on possibly the deep dive, or maybe you tweeted me or something. I don't know, but thank you so much, Steve. Lady May, oh no, I got to go watch. Yeah, we may talk spoilers here. Oh, you've got it pulled up and ready to go watch. Awesome. Thank you, Lady May. Joey H., thank you for the compliment. Monique, hello. Angela in the house. Good to see you, Angela. Smack Now says, now that it's out, has any of the law enforcement officers contacted you about further information? Good question. No. No, they have not. I don't know what to... Yeah, I'll just say that. No, they have not. I've gotten dozens. I have literally another 12 hours of recorded phone calls, but they have not. No. Cheryl, I watched it. It was very interesting. Thank you, Cheryl. Amy M says Tubi is better than Amazon. I think a lot of people are starting to think that as well. Tubi has just a lot of really good stuff. There's a lot of random stuff on Tubi as well. There's a lot of stuff on Tubi, so you kind of have to sift through some of it, but there's some really good stuff on there. So it's good to be on there. It's cool. So Suzanne says, wonderful documentary. Thank you, Suzanne. Lynn, great doc. Lynn, thank you for watching. Cindy says, what made you choose this case to do a documentary about? Cindy, this is a story that happened in my hometown. So that is why I chose this case. As I say in the trailer, which I don't know if you saw or heard earlier in the stream, but my first childhood home was 250 feet from where this took place. So though I didn't live in that house the time of the murders, this happened in a small town called Great Bend, Kansas, right here at one of the busiest intersections. And as a kid, so right here where my mouse is at, is where the murders took place. It was a day-old bread store called the Dolly Madison Bakery. It's connected to a little discount cigarette shop. That is still there today, the smoke shop. And then this was the bakery. It was kind of like a day-old bread store. My hometown, or sorry, not my hometown, my first childhood home was literally right over here. So if we measure the distance over to the house, 200... less than 250 feet, honestly. But like I said, I didn't live there when it happened, but it's a story that hit close to home for sure. So that is why I decided to make a documentary about it. Carol says, I have a feeling law enforcement knows who did the crime. I mean, I don't want to say for certainty, with total certainty on any of it. But I have heard that from more than a handful of people, which is very strange. One Love says, this is your documentary, Aaron? ? Yes, this is my documentary. I directed and produced this documentary in the last year. As you can see on the IMDb page, there I am, Aaron Mull. That's me. I directed it. I went back and shot over the last year 5 or 6 times. I flew back to Kansas. And yes, this is my documentary. As you can see even behind me, there's a poster right there. These are two of the projects that I've worked on. This is one that I was a big part of as well, but this is like my first real big project. What else are people saying in the chat? Juicebox, who was the most suspicious person you talked to during the making of the doc? Ooh, good question. Now I'm like, okay. I will say the messages, I'm not going to say one specific person because I think I'm on the fence. There are too many weird people that I've spoken with. The most suspicious thing that I've heard throughout, though, is just the same messages I was getting. I got a dozen messages saying something to the effect that they know who did it, but they don't have the evidence to prove it. And I'm just like, how is this rumor? Like, why do people keep saying this? Why is that what's getting spread? And then, you know, enough people say it that I'm just like very suspicious of like, why did that rumor get started? How did that get started? Yeah, anyways, I'll just say that. Sorry, I kind of dodged your question, Juicebox, because there's definitely a couple people that I probably should have named names on. Joey H says, how challenging was it to check your movie or to get your movie on Tubi, I think is what you meant to say. Did you have to pay them to get it on there? I did not have to pay them. I have a distributor that I'm working with that is doing all of the work to get the documentary onto different platforms. And it's actually on another platform called PopFlick as well. It's right here on PopFlick. The thing about PopFlick is it's like a very like small niche like platform, and it's actually like $4.99 a month. So I don't want to tell anyone to go pay a monthly subscription to watch the documentary when it's free to watch on Tubi. But once again, just like with Tubi, you know, the distributor literally got it on there for me, and then I have a deal with the distributor on what ends up happening on the financial side of everything. So yeah, I did not have to pay to get it on there, but it did take several months to do it and to get the deal done. But yeah, Cindy, I will check it out for sure. So sad the family doesn't have answers after 20 years. Yeah, it's incredibly sad that they don't have answers after 20 years. And unfortunately, members of the family are passing away literally as this is all unfolding. I mean, I spoke with Mandy's mom. Oops. I spoke with Mandy's mother during the documentary. She was interviewed. This is her here. Her name is Karen. And she passed away 4 or 5 months after we did this interview. So she has, you know, she obviously did not get to see the documentary through and see that it came out, but she was very thrilled that this was being made and that, you know, someone was looking back into the case, or at least trying to get the case back out there. One Love, thank you for the super sticker. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a painting with a fox saying something one. I don't know what it says, but thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Doesn't PopFlick have better quality? I think PopFlick does have HD streaming, but I'm not sure entirely. Thank you. Craig, is it weird that Dean Akings and the KBI were out of town that day? Is it weird? I mean, it's not weird. What it is unfortunate, Craig. It's unfortunate that the lead, head of the police chief, or, the police chief, Great Bend police chief, at the time, and the head of the KBI, or at least a person with a very high position at the KBI, were out of town. It's more unfortunate than anything. I don't think there's anything weird, necessarily weird about it. It just sucks. What about the people who checked into the motel? Do you think there was any connection? Yes. I'll just say that. Yes, 100% sure. In my head, I 100% believe that there is a connection to whoever checked into the hotel, without a doubt. Helen, were one or both victims believed to be targeted? In the years following, it was only ever mentioned that the younger victim may have been targeted. I'll just say that. And that was brought up for many different reasons surrounding her kind of background and some of the people that she was said to have had a relationship at one point with, but nothing was ever completely confirmed at all. I mean, they don't know the motive. They've never released like what they believe the motive behind this was. So anyways, One Love. Oh wait, One Love just sent that super chat. Thank you again for the super chat, One Love. I thought that there was another one. I was like, hey, you don't need to do that. Carol Brown says they mentioned DNA. Yes, they did. You're so good with maps. Thank you. Coffee Buzz says in your backyard. Monty says, I'm jumping into your conversation. Wait, what did Monty say? Do you think the update by the police was a reaction to them knowing you were making a documentary? For those who are unaware, if you haven't seen the documentary, I don't want to claim by any means that I was the reason that they held this press conference, but in September, back on September 6th, they had a press conference in Great Bend claiming to have new DNA that was discovered. And I'll just say that the timing is weird because they didn't seem to be working this hard on it, let's just say 2 years ago in 2020, 2019, 3-4 years ago. Like, where did this come up out of all of a sudden, right? So once again, I have my own very personal opinions about the response and reaction of law enforcement, but I don't want to say with 100% certainty that I believe that that's the reason. But it's weird timing. I'll have to watch the documentary. Kay, yes, please do. Like I said up here, or like it says up here, the link in the description will take you straight to Tubi to watch it. For those who weren't here earlier, if you do go to Tubi to watch it, for example, I have it pulled up on my computer here, starting to watch it. If you could, hit the like button. That really helps let Tubi know that it's an enjoyed piece of content, that people enjoyed the movie. Only if you liked it, hit the like button, and then now Tubi will then recommend it to new users in the future. So that really, really helps, really helps out. So thank you. Craig Morrison says, could the guy that asked the truck driver for the hamburger buns been an accomplice? I had a lookout maybe. That's why he just left, never to be heard of again. There's always that possibility. I believe that, I think I have the name of the person that was supposed to be there to pick up food, and I believe that he probably has nothing to do with it. I'll just say that. And I'm sure that he was questioned. He may have just left once they discovered that there was blood coming out from one of the rooms in the back. And though he left the situation, that could have just meant, oh, he did not want to see what was about to be seen, and that he still could have stuck around for when law enforcement eventually showed up. You know what I mean? So I don't believe so, but very good question. Monty says, then you can log into another account and like it again. If you want, that would be helpful, but at the same time, don't feel the need to do that. If you already have one account and you hit the like button, that is greatly appreciated. Let's see. Is Tubi the only place I can watch? Right now, like I just said earlier, Tubi, as well as this other small platform called PopFlick, which I believe they do have a free trial, but Tubi is the only place as of right now that you can watch for free. So I don't want to send anyone over to PopFlick for any reason, because unless they just can't access Tubi for some reason. But Tubi is a free app if you're in the US, Canada, a few other countries. Tubi is the spot to watch it right now because it is completely free to watch. They do sprinkle some advertisements throughout. It's an AVOD system, meaning advertiser-based video on demand. But that allows you to watch it for free, so it's still kind of worth it. It's kind of like YouTube videos. YouTube is free, and if you want to, if the YouTuber sprinkles ads throughout, I mean, that helps them do what they're doing to be able to make the content free. And then, like I said, for those who have seen it, check out the deep dive on the YouTube. I know I'm repeating myself, but I know some people are just popping in and out. Suzanne says, did they actually test the DNA with anyone? So once again, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but the story around the new evidence found in 2002 is that they have identified a piece of male DNA on a sample collected from the body of one of the victims was collected. It was a YSTR, and so they have such a small amount. They can test people on the male side. And so people can come forward if they believe their dad, for example, is involved. They can willingly give their own DNA, and they could see if it's a match. I don't know whether or not anyone's been tested. Once again, I am not law enforcement. I have no idea really how much they've gone into it since. But yeah, I would imagine that they've hopefully tested some of the earlier suspects. But once again, I don't even know if they really ever had a concrete suspect early on that they can retest now. Let's see. Do you think the murderer is connected to someone that works for the police department? If the police know who it is, do you think the murderer is connected to someone? Yeah, I'm definitely not going to say. I really don't know. I think I've gotten enough information since the documentary's even come out that is interesting, but none of it points to anybody being connected to law enforcement. But yeah. One Love says $17,000 reward to this day. There's another weird thing there. I don't know if that still holds up, because some people reached out that are connected to this reward, or that know about this reward, and they were saying that the reward is actually not still available. So I don't know. I don't want to say that for sure, but some people reached out to me and sent some screenshots and said, and it was a conversation with somebody connected to, I guess it would be, I don't know, Crime Stoppers, or who oversees this reward. But I read some stuff from some people that said that no, that this is actually not still available, but I don't know. Can't you just put the documentary on YouTube like a video? Yes, I can. I own the exclusive rights to the documentary. I've only done a licensing deal with the distributor to get it on platforms like Tubi. But ultimately, yes. At some point, I will likely just post it here on this YouTube channel to watch as well. But right now, it's just available on things like Tubi, and soon Apple TV, those kinds of things. Beach Gal, I'll be watching tomorrow. I've been looking for it once I saw the trailer. Very good, Beach Gal. Thank you. Just if you can't find it for some reason, you can come back to this video, Beach Gal, and it's linked. The Tubi link is direct in the description down below. Alexa says, basically, they don't have a full DNA profile and they don't want to waste the sample. I'm sure our technology advances the case. Once our technology advances, the case can be solved. Hopefully. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I don't know. I just don't know how they don't have more DNA. I'll be honest. It was such a brutal way to kill somebody. And it just baffles me as to how they don't have more. But if they have something, yeah, maybe some technology will come along and they can put it into the database. But like Alexa was saying, according to them in their press conference, it is not a sample that they can run in, CODIS and some of the other genealogy type databases. Totally unrelated, but do you have a waterfall in the room with you? I hear water and I find them very relaxing. Well, funny you mentioned that. It is raining. This is the camera that I'm streaming from, but this camera, as you can see out my window, you can see a little bit of rain coming down. So yes, it's not a waterfall, but it is raining quite a bit. It was really, really pouring earlier. I don't know if it would have even been okay to do the stream because it was like loud, but now it's just a consistent trickle. But yes, you're definitely not hearing things. You're hearing rain. Also, I hope they saved hair from the hotel room, says Alexa, which, sorry if I'm triggering anyone's Amazon devices at home. Now that I don't have my Alexa in the room, I can actually read out Alexa's full name. But yes, did they take hair? I mean, well, if they took hair, I mean, that's really substantial. So it's like, I don't think they did. According to the hotel employee, they had cleaned the room by the time that they got there. But that doesn't mean that they still maybe weren't able to pull a couple from the ground or something. I don't know. We're gonna watch this really quickly. I'm gonna fill my water here. We're gonna watch this. This was back from the screenings. I saw a question earlier about what it was like going back for the screenings. I think I'll answer that momentarily, but we're gonna watch this. This was back from in March when we had 2 screenings, local screenings, back in my hometown to kind of kick it off. And I see some awesome questions coming through. I will answer these when we get done watching this.
A Kansas double murder that happened more than 20 years ago is still unsolved, but not forgotten. Tonight, a documentary about the Dolly Madison murders will hit the big screen in the town where it happened, Great Bend. Hey, Stephanie Manici gives us a look.
It's been 20 years since Mandy Alexander and Mary Drake were killed at the Dolly Madison Bakery. The film's producer, Aaron Mull, says his motivation for the documentary were his ties to Great Bend, but also knowing the murders were unsolved. He says growing up and seeing composite sketches all over town connected him, but working on the film connected him on a deeper level.
I'm deeply invested and I care about these 2 people, and I care that their story doesn't get forgotten, really. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. And so I knew that I would care about it, but I didn't know that I'd care about it this much now.
Mandy Alexander's sister plans to see the film, but she says it's like grieving all over again.
You think it would get easier? It don't.
Worth felt the case has been ignored, and she's hoping the film will help get justice for the 2 victims. Mull says even years later, some of the reactions to the case are still odd.
It's kind of the silence around that side of things that ultimately makes it kind of look a little strange. Like, why you have so many people that want to talk about it and bring it back up, and then there's just so many people that are unwilling to talk at all, even on very broad levels.
Mull adds that people haven't forgotten about this case and that they still care, which makes it significant. Kathy Phelps was a friend of one of the murdered victims. She doesn't understand why this case hardly got attention.
The magnitude of this case is huge. This is not just your normal case. This is a double homicide that occurred on one of the busiest intersections in town in broad daylight.
Phelps, Mull, and Worth are all hoping that this film will help to finally find the killer. Stephanie Manici, Cake News on your side.
And the film premieres tonight at Crest Theater in Great Bend. If you missed the show, it will soon be available via streaming.
Back again, huh? You must.
It is available via streaming. Thank you, sir. It is available on Tubi. So that was back from back in February for the screening. We sold out 2 theaters, 2 shows of 250-ish people. So 500 people got to see it back in the hometown back in March. And then, of course, it came out, a little over a week ago on streaming. Monique, thank you. Many blessings. Thank you, Monique. One Love, simply amazing. Thank you, One Love. I wondered about the worker from the smoke shop. What question do you have about the worker from the smoke shop? Because there's definitely a couple people from the smoke shop. I got to speak with a woman from the smoke shop that was working the night of the murders, and her, interview was very, very interesting to me. We could just let's just go into the maps here, you guys. So now that I can actually talk about this case on this YouTube channel, I feel better being able to talk about the project. I mean, this is the hometown. This is where it took place. I mean, we've got a bank over here. It's called Farmers Bank and Trust. There's an ATM right here. Like I said earlier, this is where the homicides took place. There is this connected smoke shop, and connected, I only say connected because they share a wall. As you can see here, the buildings are connected by the brick in between them. There was no door to get from one business to another. And then, of course, across the street from the smoke shop, kind of a little ways over, is this Applebee's and then a McDonald's. And a lot of this stuff, I think the Applebee's may had just gotten built at this time. Prior to that, there was like a little kind of antique shop place. But I believe it was all of these things when this took place. I'm getting a phone call from the lawyer that helped out with the project. Hold on one second. Okay, that was Marty, who who is in the documentary, who was a lawyer in Great Bend at the time that this took place. So I, of course, had to answer and say hello. But yeah, busiest intersection in town. This is a very busy street. I mean, even right now, as you can see, when this photo was taken, we've got a red light. We've got 4 or 5 cars over here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus a few coming up from behind, 8 to 10 cars on their way up to this particular intersection. You've got 2 people right here waiting that, when you leave the McDonald's, you drive around it and then you exit over here and you wait here. I mean, we got, like I said, 10 cars here almost. We'll call it 12. We won't even count them because they're on their way through. We'll call it another 2 there. So 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 that are pretty close in the vicinity as we speak in this Google image. So, I mean, and this happened at a time of the day that would have been pretty busy between, let's just call it 6 and 8 o'clock. The bodies were discovered at 8 p.m. So at any given point in that time frame, you could see quite a bit. There could be quite a bit of people that could have seen somebody leaving this door. Amy says that's nothing compared to my traffic. Yeah, no, not saying that this is a busy town by any means, but for the size of this town, for this to happen in this intersection in broad daylight is crazy. Amy, aren't you in DC? Because there's not much that compares to DC traffic. DC traffic is wild. But then, of course, like I state in the documentary, there's a set of railroad tracks as well that run right through this intersection. And at any given point, there could be a train going through as well. So that's kind of the area. I know I'm jumping around, but I found out she heard gurgling. Oh, Carol, yes. Once again, spoilers. But as we look a little bit further into this, Carol's bringing up a part from the documentary. The girl was describing the sounds she heard. I found it odd that she heard gurgling. Carol is referring to the woman who I interviewed who was at the smoke shop the night of the murders. Like I said, they're right next door to each other, and she had claimed to have heard gurgling noises. So I don't know. She had also heard what she thought sounded like racks being moved around, the bread racks, but those were common sounds. So yeah, I don't know. Beach Gal says, that's great. 500 townspeople talking about it might jar some memories. Absolutely. Completely agree. And nothing compared to my job. Okay. I was confused about minute 26 when the hotel clerk identified an object belonging to Mary with one of the 2 people who checked into the hotel. How did the clerk know? So Alex is getting into some real nitty-gritty stuff without going too far into it. So what I mentioned, are you talking? So let's see. Alex is referring to the documentary. At one point in the documentary, the 26-minute mark, Mary Drake's granddaughter had heard that that the person who had checked into the hotel room had an item that could have been her grandmother's. I'm not going to mention what this item is, but when I was able to finally talk to the woman at the hotel who checked in somebody, and I talk about it in the at about the 1:07 mark in the in the podcast that's on my YouTube channel. At about an 1:07 mark, we go through the entire hotel theory. The woman that was working there that night, I didn't even mention that there was an item that, like, did this guy have a particular item that stood out as strange? She just flat out mentioned it in our conversation and said when he was checking in, one of the things she said is that he did not speak. He acted as if he couldn't talk, and he was writing things down on a notepad, and that he also had, and she mentioned this item. And I immediately was like, oh, wow, that's strange. I wonder if that's what they were referring to, what Mary Drake's family was referring to. So I reached out to Mary Drake's family and just asked them what that item was. And they said it, and it was a direct match to what this hotel employee recalls seeing 20 plus years later, 20 years later. And so that's why I'm so confident, or at least I believe, that whoever checked into this hotel after the murders is connected, without a doubt, to these crimes. In my heart, I believe that. One Love, I appreciate that. Thank you. So the hotel that she was referring to, now those who are watching this and haven't, oh, Alex, you haven't seen the deep dive. Oh, Alex is at Target? What? You mean to tell me that I'm just playing on on your phone at Target right now? That is hilarious. Well, Alex, watch the deep dive. Oh my goodness. There was always a rumor that somebody stayed in a hotel nearby the night of the murders. It was in the newspaper. In the documentary, we talk about it. It was quoted, and the worker that was working at the hotel, which ended up not being this hotel, by the way. This is just the closest hotel to where the homicides took place. This person had said that when a man checked in, he looked like the person that they showed in the composite sketch, which if we go back to here, we should be able to see it. Yeah, right here. That's my actual thumbnail for the deep dive. He had the long hair when he checked in, and when he checked out the next day, the day after the murders, when the composite sketch had been released in the newspaper, he had cut his hair. He took his hat off. He pointed to the newspaper at the front desk of the hotel, and then he pointed back to his bald head, indicating that he did not look like the guy in the newspaper, and he left. And there's a rumor that they had found hair in his hotel trash can, and that they contacted law enforcement, and law enforcement didn't come for 2 days. And by that time, the room had been cleaned. That is the story that I was given. Once again, like I say in the deep dive, all of the stuff that was told to me is just what was told to me. I don't know what's true and what's not. I only have, like I said, what was told to me. So the question is, let's see, gurgling. Sorry, a bit late. Oh yeah, you were talking about the hair, Alex. But yeah, I think it's so intriguing that took place. Monique says, is the person who checked in the hitchhiker? That's another good question, because Monique clearly watched the deep dive, because there's also another story of somebody that came up in the documentary. There was a call I had with a man by the name of Dick Ogle, who was a pastor in Great Bend at the time, who allegedly picked somebody up the night of the murders from the bakery and took him to a Bible study. And then after took him to the edge of town because he was a transient, and he was going to hitchhike out of town. I don't know if it's the same person, but it is very, very strange. The person at the hotel did state that the person who checked out had like a bag of their stuff. Like they seemed to be like somebody traveling through town. They didn't have much. They didn't have a vehicle. They walked away on foot. Which, my gosh, guys, there's a couple more stories that have come in that I can't talk about that are just, well, there's another witness story that didn't even get included, but apparently the night of the murders, somebody saw somebody leaving the bakery at 10th and Harrison. Let me finish my story here. Here's the hotel that I thought it was. I'm getting ahead of myself. The hotel that this person said that they worked at the night of the murders was actually this hotel, which is now the Quality Inn Hotel. At the time, it was called a Super 8. So you could easily walk from the bakery behind the bank through this business next to this, I don't know what it would have been at the time, and then across the railroad tracks and then into the hotel. I mean, that's 1,000 feet away. They could have walked through here. They could have also just walked down the street. As you can see right here, if we move a little bit further, I mean, this is a busy area, guys. We have a Walmart over here. You can see there's the hotel, the Quality Inn. If we turn and look down the street, here's the McDonald's. The bakery is literally right here. So if we scroll down once, you can see the front of the bakery right here. And then that hotel, if we move down once, you can see the edge of the hotel right there. So very, 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 very close. Lindsay says to Monique, if the hitchhiker is the hotel patron, he would have had to get a ride back into town after the pastor dropped him off. Possible, though. Kay says, what city/state did this happen in? Michael says, Kansas. Thank you, Michael. It did happen in Kansas. It happened in a town called Great Bend. Okay. Great Bend. This is the town. Maybe 15,000 people at the time were living, 18,000 people. I believe now in Great Bend, the population has slightly decreased. Let me see what the actual population is of Great Bend now. It's a very small town. Yeah, just under 15,000 people, 14,580 according to the numbers from 2021. So yeah, pretty small town. I don't know. I think the population has steadily decreased, so I can't imagine there being many more people back in 2002. Michael Doyle says, I live in Great Bend. Oh, very cool. Thanks for popping in. Marlene Stewart says, just curious, did the Dolly Madison Bakery have a storefront? Yes. Are you talking about like an actual, like you could go inside and check things out? Because yes, absolutely. That is what was in this front corner of the store. At the time that the homicides took place, these two garage doors were not in the building. This garage door was, but you would enter through this west-facing door, and there was like a small day-old bread store. You could buy really cheap loaves of bread. You could buy little Debbie snacks, Twinkies, things like that. So yes, that is where Mandy, the younger victim, was working at the time. I'm kind of hopping into this as if you guys have seen the documentary. And so I apologize, I'm glossing over certain details, but for those who have seen it, I know I'm repeating things, but Mandy was one of the victims who worked at this bakery. She had only worked there for 3 days, maybe 4. It's not entirely, it's not out there exactly. I think everyone I've talked to said she had worked there maybe 3 days. But it took place here in the storefront. She was working. It was in the evening, shortly before 8 o'clock, that all this took place. The bodies were discovered by a truck driver that made a stop at the bakery that evening and discovered the bodies shortly before 8 p.m. The other victim was a 79-year-old woman named Mary Drake. She also was in the bread store the night of the murders, and unfortunately was also, was also one of the victims. Michael Doyle says, didn't move here until 2007 for college, but have been here since. I'm really into unsolved mysteries, so this is very intriguing to me. Thank you, Michael, for being in here. I guess I do see a KC Royals, it looks like, in your profile picture, so go Royals. Marlene says, did you ever shop there? Yes, I did. A lot. As a kid, we would run over there from my grandparents' house. My grandparents also lived very close to the bakery at the time of the murders, and we would run over there as kids all the time. Craig Morrison, any more about Rick Francis that wasn't included in the documentary for whatever reason? No, not really. I mean, some people have reached out to me about him, different stories, so on and so forth. But yeah, I was just trying to connect with Rick because Rick was a bakery employee at the time. Rick Francis was a district manager at this bakery, as well as several others. I think he said a couple dozen stores. So once again, when reaching out to people for this project, when I see someone like Rick Francis quoted in the newspaper the night of the murders as being somebody connected to this story, those were all people that I was going to reach out to regardless. So he did not want to be included. I, of course, included that phone call in the podcast, but I did not and have not talked to Rick since then. And that got brought up. A few people were saying, why did you include that, but you excluded certain names in the podcast? I just want to say, there are certain names of people that I talk to that literally are saying specific people that they think did it. And I don't think revealing those names and some of the names that they say that's probably not a good thing. So while I protected or excluded the identity of some in the podcast and included others, that wasn't for any reason to include names because I thought they were suspicious. Rick Francis was just a name that came up in my research as somebody connected. So I included that. Aaron, great job on the documentary. Hopefully it will lead to an arrest and conviction as well. Mike Smith, who knows? Victoria, long time no see. Yes, it has been a while. Thank you for stopping by. Monica, same here. Lindsay, I am doing all I can to not quit the live stream and run over to Tubi right now. Marlene, thank you. Marlene, it's totally fine if you hear little spoilers throughout this live stream, to be honest, because the documentary will only continue to introduce you to the story. And then Marlene, it doesn't have to be tonight, but please come back to this YouTube channel and check out the Deep Dive podcast. It is the first video. Obviously, we have our live stream here, but this video from 7 days ago is a 2-hour deep dive. So please, I encourage you to come back at some point, maybe tomorrow or later on in the week, and check out the deep dive, because the documentary, although I really appreciate, or I love that it's out there, it is only scratching the surface in terms of some of the things that people have reached out to me on that are connected to this case. So it's pretty wild. Anyways, hey again from Kansas City. I think I maybe read that already. Good to see you, Haley. But thank you, Marlene. And like I said, it's in the description, and like it says here. So if you're having trouble seeing it and finding it on Tubi, you can come back to this video, and it'll be linked. It'll be linked. And then Marlene, if you could, when you are over there watching it, and whoever comes across this live stream after it's up, tap the like button. For those who happen to have an IMDb page, I know many do not have IMDb pages, or accounts rather. Most don't have pages, but rating it on IMDb is also really incredibly helpful in popping up on search. So I encourage you to give it a fair rating on IMDb as well. If you have an account, I would really appreciate it. Okie dokie, let's keep on going. I was gonna play also some GeoGuessr at some point. We could maybe play some GeoGuessr as we're talking about questions, or as we're going through questions. Chloe's mom says we'll hop over to GeoGuessr in a moment. Chloe's mom, loved the documentary. Job well done. I hope it gets noticed and the story spreads. Exactly, that's the goal. And honestly, we have 75 people in here talking about this case right now. That wasn't happening this time last year, right? And that's ultimately what the goal was, is to get new people introduced to the case, interested in the story, interested in the case, and, talking about it again. So that's the goal. As soon as my kiddos get to bed, I'll watch a deep dive. Thank you. Steve H., are you going to make more docs? Absolutely, Steve. I am going to make more documentaries. I'm going to make narrative films. I'm going to be doing more in the future for sure. I don't know what the next project is, but absolutely. Thank you for watching the whole thing. Did the documentary did the people in the documentary have to sign release forms? Some may want to remain anonymous, and you respected that. Yeah. Yeah, everyone that is in the documentary that appears on camera, they all had to sign release forms. And then a lot of phone calls that were included in the deep dive, those were recorded in a one-party state. So I was able to include those. Awesome, love your style. Thank you. Will you do short films? Yeah, all of it. Thank you, One Love. Appreciate that. Francie says, oh crap, hold on. Oh no, we didn't guess where this is. Oh no, I have like 1 second. Oh, that was so loud. I apologize if that was incredibly loud. Okay, you guys, we're gonna guess where this is. We see mountains This is all the U.S., by the way. I'll keep answering questions. Someone asked something else. I'm sorry if I missed it. Highly recommend the deep dive. Thank you. I can't do all these things at once. I wanted to play GeoGuessr, but my gosh, I'm trying to... We'll guess this one and then move to the next. Okay, I'm just going to guess Colorado because I see mountains. No, I'm going to guess Wyoming. No, Salt Lake. Near Salt Lake. Jeez, I do not like the sounds. I'm actually going to figure out how to take away the sounds. I do not like the sounds. We might play GeoGuessr later. Sorry, guys. My brain can't do more than one thing at this point. Settings, effect volume off, music volume off. Okay, so if we do play, we do not have volume. Okay, let me read some more comments because I see some coming in. Ryan Gotchi, thoroughly enjoyed the documentary, the deep dive. Kept myself, wife, and newborn on the edge of our seats. Awesome work bringing life back into this case. Ryan, thank you, my friend. Ryan's got a little, we got a little backstory as well there without going into it, but Ryan knows this case, and I appreciate Ryan sharing this. I saw your Reddit post on the true crime Reddit, and I really appreciate that. Seriously, getting it out there to more people, like I said, was the goal, and I appreciate you helping out with that. Haley, short films are popular, especially horror short films. You should do short films based on true stories. That could be cool. Yeah, I actually had a short film written with one of my best friends prior to COVID happening, and we could, of course, go back to that. It was a short horror film. I don't know how many pages it was. It was very short, but we had the whole locations picked out that we were going to rent out this house in, I think it was Table Rock Lake in Missouri, Arkansas. I don't know. We had a whole short film ready to go, and then COVID happened, and we did not ever follow up with that project. I can't talk. Let me get some water. Kat says, hey, Aaron, great to see you. Watch the doc, and it was awesome. Looking forward to watching the deep dive, too. You should be so proud. You did such a great job. Hope it helps bring justice. Kat, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yes, please, 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 please watch the deep dive. Oh, my goodness. I can't suggest, watching that enough. The deep dive is really where it's at. So, and that's all on the YouTube for those who have not heard me say it the 25,000 times that I've said it. Haley says you should finish it. Yeah, I should. The thing about it is it's hard to just jump straight back into, like, this project's done, but it's not done, right? Like, I'm still doing a lot of promotional stuff. I have an entire kind of marketing plan throughout the month. I have YouTube shorts that are coming out once a day, pushing people to the doc. So if you guys follow the YouTube shorts, if you watch YouTube shorts, you may be seeing those roll out over the next 15 days. I've got different kind of press media kits that are going out this week to different press if they want to talk about the story. I'm sending it out to all these different podcasts. I think I saw somebody's comment asking if I had heard about the murder sheet. I think they said Kevin. Back when I covered Delphi a little bit on this channel, the murder sheet did reach out to me about including some of my stuff and talking, we were going to potentially collaborate in some way or another. It ended up not happening, but yes, I'm aware of the murder sheet. They do incredible work, and that's the kind of stuff that I want people to see as well, because I have this YouTube channel. We talk about true crime and stuff on this channel, and though I don't really upload on this channel often and go live often, there's still a really awesome built-in audience here of people that follow stories like this. I'm going to move this down. It's a little bright. And so, yeah, I want to be sending it to people like that. So another thing, if you have seen the documentary or if you've seen the deep dive, sharing that on your Facebook, for example, is so beneficial, because it reaches an entirely new audience, right? I don't use Facebook much, but the people that are on my Facebook are a lot of people from my hometown. So that was a great way of sharing that this was a thing, because people from the hometown saw it and they were like, oh, wow, cool, let's check this out. Or, they'll share it amongst themselves. And so people like you guys, and I know that there's some people from Great Bend in this chat, but the people that are fresh and new to the story, sharing it on your guys' social media is so beneficial. So that is the biggest compliment I could receive, is if people copy the Tubi link or even the YouTube deep dive and share that on their own personal social media. If you do and you happen to tag me, I will immediately go share it and like it, and I will love that is happening. So please, that is like the ultimate thing that people could do, is share it, because it introduces it to an entirely new audience. Haley Taylor says you should go on Mile Higher podcast. They are great. I've never heard of the Mile Higher podcast, but once again, if you guys know of people that have podcasts, that have YouTube channels, that you'd want me to either go on the podcast, or if you want them to talk about this case, like, please send it to them, let them know, or tag them, hey, you should talk to Aaron, or whatever. I'm willing to do a lot. And that goes back to what Haley Taylor was saying. You should finish the script for the short film. There's still a lot going on with this case that I have to continue doing, even though it's out. So as I'm continuing to finish what I started with this documentary and follow up on some of these things that are coming through, as that stuff starts to settle, yes, I will figure out what my next project is. I have some ideas stirring around up there, but yeah, please tag people on podcasts about this story, tag me in it, whatever. I'll go on any podcast. I went on one earlier this week. It was like a Kansas true crime missing persons podcast. They were chatting about the doc a little bit, and I'm more than willing to do that. Joey H says, what inspired your editing style and aesthetic? Any other docs inspired your style of cutting and pacing? Nothing that oh, you just commented again. What inspired your editing style? What inspired you making this? What movies inspired you? There's nothing that inspired my pacing or editing style necessarily, but I will say Murder on Middle Beach, which is a documentary on HBO Max, is about a woman who was killed, and the director is her son, Madison Hamburg. He was a massive inspiration in this documentary, and I'm actually going to be posting about this on my Instagram soon. He actually watched the trailer for my documentary. I sent it to him, and he sent me incredible feedback. And he's like, let me know when it's out. I'll check it out. His documentary gave me a lot of inspiration for mine, because his mother, though nobody that was in my documentary is directly tied to me. It's not like I lost my mother. My gosh, I can't even imagine. It was still interesting to take inspiration from his, because that it was a story so close to his heart and so close to home for him. And he ended up including himself in the documentary in a way, because he's trying to figure out who murdered his mother, which is just wild. And ultimately what ended up happening for me is I included myself in this documentary because so many people were either unwilling to talk or didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I had these calls with people that I felt were interesting enough to include in the documentary. I think it tells the story as to why this case has remained unsolved, is that nobody wants to talk about it. And so, to make a long story short, long story long, Madison Hamburg, Murder on Middle Beach, massive influence, massive inspiration for my documentary. And he just seems like a really great person. What's a Kansas true crime podcast? I'm from Kansas City. I definitely would like to hear a Kansas-based podcast. I think it was called Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Let me look what it's called. What's it called? Kansas Missing and... Yeah, here it is. It's called... It's called Ricky I don't even want to say that incorrectly, but Kansas Missing and Unsolved. It's They do live shows once a week. So yeah, this was ours from 4 days ago. They had me on for about 15, 20 minutes. But they stream, it looks like weekly, maybe every other every other week. And they talk about local Kansas cases, Wichita, Garden City, Overland Park, Topeka, Garden City. And they have quite a few uploads. So if you're in Kansas and you want more true crime content centered around Kansas stories, that's one to follow. The Long Island Killer, I will definitely look into that. I feel like I've heard of that, Alexa. But thank you. I will for sure look into it. Vincent says, I remember when you did videos for GBHS. Your growth is inspiring. Keep it up. Vincent Sample, thank you. Wow, did we go to high school together, or what do you mean? I mean, I definitely made silly videos when I went to Grape in high school. Thanks for the compliment, my friend. Joey H says, what's your Instagram so we can follow? It's just my name. Well, and then films on the end of it. Aaron Mull Films. My editing software or my broadcasting live software is a little bit messed up. Normally I can just pop my Instagram up with the touch of a button, but nothing's linked up properly. So yeah. I will share with my true crime friends. We are always posting about our favorite YouTube channels and what and who to watch. Thank you, Sue. Cool. Well, we've been going for just over an hour now. Oh, Craig says, a lot of my family have all watched the documentary and the deep dive in the last week. They are all from Great Bend. I was born there too. Hits close to home. Wow, Craig. Thank you. Appreciate that. Incredible. Thank you so much. I missed a couple comments. Vincent says, I appreciate this doc. It's got the wheels going in my head, so I can imagine you got the wheels turning of 1,000 minds. Keep up the great work. Yeah. Like I said at the beginning of all this, oh wait, is it frozen? No, it's not. It shouldn't be frozen. Since completing the documentary, I've had maybe a dozen people reach out to me that say that they have information connected to this case, right? Whether they're saying, I believe my ex-husband did it, or, he knows who did it, all these different things. That has all happened since, the doc hit Tubi like a week and a half ago. And I've had these phone calls with these people, some of which are an hour long, right? So I've had like maybe a dozen of those calls, averaging maybe 30, 45 minutes each since this came out. So I've got like 10 hours of calls that who knows if there's anything valuable in there. But once again, like I haven't heard from anybody when it comes to law enforcement. And so it's just like, I hope the response is, I don't know. They have to know that there's stuff coming in that may be new, that may be valuable. Some of these people that are contacting me have said that they don't feel comfortable going to law enforcement. So it's just like, this is stuff that they may not even have. And it's crazy to me. I haven't heard from them. But once again, I don't ever claim to know how they handle their business. But it's happening every day. I wake up to new messages. So I definitely won't withhold information if they reach out. Steve H. Yes, absolutely. Recorded. Hold on one second. Francie says, are you a gumshoe? Do you ever work with law enforcement? I tried to work with law enforcement during this project. I met with them several times, letting them know like, hey, this is going to bring an entirely new set of eyes to this case. What would you like to include, if anything? And, they, for lack of a better word, they don't want anything to do with this project, at least as of right now, it seems. But no, I don't work with law enforcement in any capacity other than being fully capable and cooperative if they want to take any of the stuff that I've gotten over the last year and a half. I'm by no means am somebody that is anti-law enforcement. I want them to look into this. Cindy, just finished watching your doc. Wow, really excellent job holding out for hope for Mary and Mandy's loved ones. Thank you, Cindy. Very kind. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I don't know how much hope I have for this case. I'll be honest. But I hope that, yeah, I guess I have hope still a little bit, a shred of hope. Yeah, anyways, what's the Kansas true crime? Oh, I already answered that. Yeah, I think we're kind of getting down to it. I said that we'd play GeoGuessr once, so you know what? We're going to play. We're going to play once. The questions are coming in a little slower right now. The questions are coming in a little slower, so if people still have questions, drop them in the chat. We're going to play a game of GeoGuessr, and then I will continue after each round. I will continue answering any questions that might come through. This is just my excuse to play GeoGuessr, which is a fantastic game where you try to guess where you are on the screen. So I know the comments are also super delayed, so if you guys are commenting what you think where we're at, since I only have 2 minutes, as you can see the timer up here, I can't always see your comments to get help from you guys, so it may not be worth. This looks like somewhere outside Seattle though, to me. This feels very like suburbs of Seattle. Oh, but there's palm trees, so maybe not. This is all U.S. based as well, as you can see from up here. This is only going to be United States cities and places. Excuse me. The signs can sometimes give it away. Carmichael, wherever Carmichael's at. This still feels very like kind of West Coast. But there's palm trees, so I'm going to go like Northern Cali or something. Oh, Alex is saying Cali too. It seems like a fairly decent sized city. Let's just go Fortuna. Fortuna, California. No, Sacramento. Not bad. Still central Northern Cali. Carol says Indiana. Not quite. This one might be, though. Who knows? Haley comes in with the Cali. Late with the California guess. You were correct, Haley. This one here, though. This is a bit more difficult. Golf course. What does that sign say? The signs can be cheating sometimes, I feel like. Highland or High Grove golf course. Is Ryan Gotchi in the chat still? Maybe he knows. Oh, okay. Newton Falls Road. Newton Falls. We only have 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Someone's going to Google Newton Falls now. I'm seeing Arkansas or Missouri. Newton Falls feels like Connecticut or something, or New York State or something. I'm going to go against what someone said with the Arkansas thing. Sylvia Roberts says Kansas. I'm going to go like New York, like East Albany or something. Like, I'm going to go over here. Okay. Oh, I thought it was closer. Okay, Ohio. Oh, Marlene says Ohio. I don't know if Marlene looked it up, but I'm delayed. Haley says Ohio as well. I don't know if you guys looked it up, but like I said, your comments are a little delayed on my end. Also, I don't want the comments to go unnoticed, but somebody said, how is it possible to confirm a reward as an incentive? How is it possible to confirm a reward as an incentive. I don't know exactly what you mean. Rephrase your question there, Monique. Sorry. Are you saying like as an incentive to do something? Like did somebody seek out doing something to get the reward, or what do you mean? And then Carol says, with the new technology with DNA today, oh shoot, I hope, okay, I don't know where we're at here, but we only have a minute and a half. Can they find a family member with DNA? I mean, so for this case in particular, Carol, they can use a family member to run their potential DNA, but according to them, it has to be on the male side. It's YSTR. Oh, wow. Haley says no cheating. Wow. So Haley just guessed Ohio. That's another good guess. Well, I would like to hear Haley's guess as to where we're at now, because we only have 50 seconds and I have not been looking. Is that mountains way off in the distance? No. Ooh, but it's either clouds or mountains. Alabama, Louisiana. All right, I'm going to go with Haley. Haley says Mississippi. Haley's been right on the last few of these. I'm going to go Mississippi. I'm going to go West Mississippi. Our first one that we didn't get right, Texas. Marlene says Texas. Marlene, you're right on this again. All right, before we click into the next round so we don't kill our time, Monique says if there was a reward, more people would speak up possibly. Oh, Monique, you were saying about the reward. Oh, yeah, so there is a reward according to I mean, possibly it's still active and available, but there is a $17,000 reward connected to the Dolly Madison murders. But I will say, earlier in the stream I mentioned this. Some people reached out to me, or some people reached out to people connected to the case. I'll just say, we have heard, and I don't know if it's true, that this reward money isn't even still there. And so it's like one of those things where if somebody were to bring information forward, I would assume that they would get this reward. I don't know, but I've been told that this reward money is not even still active. I don't even know what you'd call it, but it's been 20 years and the reward really hasn't gone up much at all over the last 20 years. So it makes you wonder if that reward money is still there. But yeah, that's a good question. No worries, Haley. We'll get it on this one. This looks interesting. What is this building? Oh my goodness. Look at behind here. Look how tall these trees are. Uh-oh, this might give it away. Kent Road, Hydro, Rocky River Station. Uh-oh, is this a mountain up here? Wait, no, I don't know what this is. Rocky River. Okay, we're seeing some low terrain, like mountainous kind of terrain. Oh yeah, there's kind of a mountain here, the base of a... I'm just going to go Colorado since it says Rocky River and I only have a minute. I'm going to go somewhere near Colorado. But then again, the Colorado River. Rocky River. I'm still going to go Colorado. I'm going to go South Colorado. Like inland a little bit. Or not into the mountains. I'm going to go east of the mountains. Oh gosh, I'm way off. I should have guessed. I should have known. Marlene said North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, it definitely had some North Carolina vibes with how tall the trees are. I should have known it was East Coast. It was right outside New Milford. I screwed that one up. Okay, last one here. This is round 5. Then I'll answer some more cues if you got them. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. Wherever this is. This is gorgeous. Looks like some palm bushes. Palm trees. Okay. For some reason, this feels like I gotta see a cityscape. This feels Hawaii to me as opposed to Cali or Florida. It's definitely not Florida. Yep. This feels like Hawaii. It's definitely not Florida because it's just too... I see Jennifer saying Florida. I can bet, and I think Jennifer would take back her guess now, seeing these mountains, that it is without a doubt not Florida. But the question is this California or is this Hawaii? I'm going to go Hawaii still. This feels like one of the big islands or something of Hawaii. So we'll go Honolulu still. All right, not in the main part of the city. We'll go outside the city a little bit. Oh, yes. Oh, no, it is Cali. It definitely wasn't Florida, but yeah, okay, Cali. Alexa says we should do the world or Europe tour, Europe edition. We will do the European edition next. I'm going to quickly help beautiful wife with the groceries. I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer to the documentary. For those who have seen it, I'm sorry, we're playing it again. And then when we get back, we will play the European edition. Guys, if you haven't already, please go watch the Dolly Madison murders on Tubi. This is what this stream is about. We're just hanging out together. There's really no, theme to this stream other than the fact that my documentary that I've been working so hard on for the last year and 4 months is now out. Diana L says, love the documentary. You did a great job. Amazing job. I just got here. And if you discuss this story, sorry, I was wondering if the new DNA can be tested through something like genealogy. Long story short, no. According to law enforcement in that press conference that happened on September 6th, the DNA is just too small of a sample or something that cannot be tested on some of the genealogy databases. But like I said, down in the description is the link to the Tubi documentary. It's out now, free on Tubi. Check it out. And then, like I've said 100 times over, here on this YouTube channel, the most recent video uploaded is a 2-hour deep dive podcast. I'm going to quickly use the restroom. We're going to quickly play, while I'm gone, the trailer to the documentary, which is also here on YouTube. And then when I get back, we can answer any more questions that you guys might have about the documentary or about the process in making this documentary. And then we will play a European version of GeoGuessr. So I will be right back. Oh my goodness, I just pulled my hard drive off the computer. Okay, I'll be right back. I grew up in Great Bend, Kansas. My first childhood home was 250 feet from the Dolly Madison Bakery. I've never forgotten this story, and I've always wondered why nobody has told this story on a larger scale.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hi, I do apologize, but unfortunately he's not interested in speaking with you. To be completely honest, I said your name and he flat out said no, he's not interested, and told me to tell you that he's not interested.
To the west is a bank. Caddy corner is a McDonald's. If you're gonna rob someplace, I would think somewhere other than a day-old bread store where you could literally walk in at that time and buy 3 loaves of bread for $1 and then not even take all the money in the register.
2 decades and no arrests after 2 women were murdered inside the Dolly Madison Bakery in Great Bend.
The general public that was there were of course, they were concerned.
So is this blood back here? That's not blood. That can't be blood.
Yes, it is. It was 360 degrees from what you're seeing right there.
Even if just one guy did this, his DNA would be there. There's just absolutely no question. And if the evidence was preserved properly, I think they could still get DNA, definitely.
Murderers, they know who it is, but they mess stuff up. They need fresh evidence that they can't go back and get now.
This is not the only person we have identified. He's one of the people that we haven't identified.
You gotta find the dude. You have got to find out his name.
Some people thought, well, maybe she pissed him off and he got one of his buddies and had her killed.
Somebody got away with a homicide. It happens. And 20 years later, they've got away with it so far.
Then to hang up the phone and read on Facebook that you have new evidence?
They just let it sit. They just didn't do it. Why the hell are you not? Why in the hell are you not?
This guy's probably walking past us every day. He could be in the store with us.
Okay. That allowed me to quickly use the restroom, so thank you guys. And the groceries are put away. Beautiful wife is working on dinner, so thank you to her. She can hear me. She has me pulled up in the other room, so hello. And thank you for starting on dinner. We're going to continue for a little bit longer here. Any more questions come in? I know all these people and a sibling to one of them. Interesting. Kay, I think you had mentioned that you are from Great Bend. Very interesting. Hopefully you have seen it. Please share if you haven't already. That would be really appreciated. But like I said, this documentary is now streaming on Tubi. As you can see, it's linked down in the description. After the video is uploaded, I'm going to pin it in the comments as well. So if you happen to be watching this live stream after it has already been uploaded and you're having trouble finding it, it's also going to be pinned in the comments. And yeah, it's on and available for you to watch it soon on Apple TV. So if you're also in a place in a country that does not have Tubi available, it will be available on Apple TV very soon. Unfortunately, on Apple TV, I believe it'll only be available to rent for like $1 or something, $2, but it'll at least be available. Kay says, I grew up there. Interesting. You and I both. More call to actions for all the wonderful people that want to go above and beyond. Excuse me. And you maybe have an IMDb account. Please give it a fair rating on IMDb. That would be super helpful. And then, like I said, and I continue to say, arguably better than the documentary in terms of information, interesting information surrounding this case, we have a 2-hour deep dive podcast here on this YouTube channel that is uploaded and has been out for about a week as well. I'd appreciate it if you guys go check that out. Okay, some more comments are coming through. Beach Gal says one of your shorts just popped up in my feed, talking with the retired cop. Awesome. The shorts, yeah, they should be posted every day at 1 o'clock for the next 15 days. So that's cool that you're seeing that. MJ says, Aaron, I watched it on Tubi. You did an amazing job, very professional. Or you did amazing, very professional. Thank you, MJ. I appreciate that. I'm glad people are watching it. Design something car designs. Congrats, thank you. Diana L, thank you for answering. Of course. Eye of the Storm says, went back to verify, liked on Tubi. I had missed it. Look under video, folks. Oh yes, it's under the video. Thank you for going back and hitting the like button. Eye of the Storm. Really appreciate that. Francine. Wow, I can't wait to see it. Thank you. Really appreciate it, guys. You guys have been awesome. Monty says, this is a good question. Is there anything else people can do to help support besides liking and sharing, etc.? Really, it's the sharing. Yeah, it's sharing. Because like I was saying earlier, people that are sharing kind of in my circle on Facebook are sharing it out to other people that are in Great Bend, which is great because ultimately I think I'm kind of 50-50 on whether or not I believe people in Great Bend possibly hold the answer or the answers to solving this. Part of me thinks it's nothing to do with Great Bend and there's the person that did this is long gone. So I don't know. So it's very important to share it amongst Great Bend and the people that are interested in watching it. But people like you guys that are living in Ohio or, Arizona or wherever you're living, like sharing it is possibly the most important thing on your personal social medias because people that are following you are people that are from other places besides Great Bend, Kansas, if that makes sense. So I don't know if there's anything more you could do that's better to support than sharing it. Seriously. And like I said, please tag me. If you want to tag me on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere, I'd love to see where you guys are sharing it. And like I said, I'll go chime in on some of those posts and comments, and I'm more than happy to, I'd love to see where you guys are sharing it. So please tag me as well. MJ says, Aaron, do you think it's corruption or just lazy police work? It really blows my mind that this happened during rush hour and nobody saw anything. Based on the calls that happen and that are talked about in the podcast, if true, and like I say in the podcast, you know, this 2-hour deep dive, if even half of these stories that I talk about in the podcast are true, and certain people went to law enforcement with information and were turned away, I don't even know if that's lazy. That borders between laziness and, I wouldn't say corruption, but just negligence of just like, why were they not taken seriously, if true, right? And once again, I don't know if all of these stories that came to me are fully true, but it's something in between all that. I think it's a bit of all of it, because once again, my true and honest opinion about law enforcement right now is that they don't seem to have any interest in anything that I've done with this case. And there could be something valuable there. You just never know. 20 years later, I'm interviewing people that they may have interviewed early on in this case. They could go through my interview and compare it to what they had 20 years ago, 19 years ago. And they could see if there's any discrepancies or issues with, you know, oh, maybe this person said something completely different to me than what was told to them. So once again, to try to answer your question, I think that that the ball was dropped. I believe that. There's no doubt in my mind. I think that somebody screwed something up with this case. That's my personal opinion that I am absolutely allowed to have. Yeah, without a doubt. And their reaction and response to this happening 20 years later tells me a lot as well. I think they don't want people to know how badly they possibly screwed up, and that's why they want nothing to do with it. But that's, once again, just my opinion. Do I think that is the case 100%? Who knows? Tina, just watched it. You did a great job. Tina, thank you for watching. Kat says the person Reverend Dick Ogle gave a ride to is really interesting. I completely agree. I think it's incredibly captivating, the story about Dick Ogle picking somebody up before a Bible study. Kay says, I don't think PD knew how to handle it. Kind of panicked. Yeah, I mean, possibly. Who knows? This is 20 years ago. Things are a lot different than they were 20 years ago. I get that. Law enforcement, a lot of times, I don't want to say cases solve themselves in 2023, but it would be much harder to do what this person did in 2023 and get away with it. So yeah, I think they just didn't know the magnitude of this. Didn't know how, I don't know. Then again, I don't know. Lindsay says, if you live in Kansas, you have the power to share with legislators. This case might benefit from more resources like time and money from law enforcement. Yeah, that's another thing. So Monty asked if there's anything people can do to help support. I mean, technically, yeah. In Kansas, if you live in Kansas, share this with people that are at the highest level. I mean, that's ultimately what needs to happen, is that possibly the KBI on the state level needs to hear some of these stories that are coming out, because if true, they may need to step in and look into where the ball was potentially dropped, if it was. Latoya says, congrats, Aaron. Can't wait to watch. Just coming in, so I have to go back and watch from beginning. Hey, no worries, Latoya. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. And hope you like it. I personally think it was unexperienced from law enforcement. Usually these small towns aren't equipped for crimes like this, in my opinion. Alexa, I completely agree. Something went wrong. Most of folks on the Great Bend Police Department are farm boys from the area, or at least it used to be that way. Okay. Interesting comment. Thank you. Monty says, are you comfortable sharing who your prime suspect is? No, I'm not. And every single day, based on stories that are coming in, my prime suspect, or I should say my main person that I'm suspicious of, changes on a daily basis. So it would be also irresponsible for me to share who my prime suspect is when tomorrow I might get a call from somebody that makes somebody else my prime suspect. I think ultimately we're at an interesting point with this case where a lot of people in the town are talking about it, and you just never know what it could shake out of the trees. And so I don't want to say something that that could hurt the case for sure. You need to tweet it to the governor of Kansas. I've sent it to a lot of people. This is where it's like, I would love if you guys have Twitter pages, tweeting it, showing action in that way is huge. Just we go back to Monty's post in a way that isn't irresponsible or coming from a position of like, you guys need to look at, like, I don't know how to word it in the nicest way possible. Yeah. If any of you guys would like to share it with people like the governor of Kansas, absolutely do it in such a way that is respectful, please. Especially if you're coming from my live stream, but that's huge. That would be awesome. Cause yeah, the more people that see that there's, movement in a case like this, they might go, hey, what's going on? Why are all these people messaging me in relation to this case that happened 20 years ago in Kansas, and they might forward it on to the right person that needs to see it and hear it. So, yeah, that would be huge. Okay. Any more questions? Please add them. Anyone that has a question about the process of making a documentary, I effectively did this entire thing in a year's time, essentially all by myself. And I'm very interested in talking about it. If anyone has questions, any questions about the case, drop them in the comments. We are going to hop back in. We're going to play one more round, maybe two, of the European GeoGuessr. And then I can answer any other questions that you guys might have that you pop into the comments as we're playing. So just know I will read every single comment after we finish up this round, or a different round rather, of GeoGuessr here. Leave. Okay, so we need to go to maps. We need to go to European. No, we'll go to world. We'll do world. So these could be literally anywhere in the world. My camera, since I have the windows open, my lighting is less controlled. So the sun will come out and it'll make me too bright. The sun will go away. I'm too dark. So I'm having to constantly change it. But okay, this is somewhere in the world. So the US is obviously included in that. But to me, immediately already, this does not seem like the good old US of A. A good license plate look can also help. Yep, these long license plates that are blurred out. This is like maybe somewhere in the UK, if I had to immediately guess. Let's just go somewhere in the UK here. Let's just go Sheffield or Liverpool. Let's go in between Sheffield and Liverpool. South Manchester, maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about where we're at. Sylvia agrees, though. UK. Oh, it was Ireland. It was Northern Ireland. All right. Well, wasn't as close as I thought, but that's not bad. All right. Once again, I see people's guesses coming in. I see some questions. Happy Little Tree says, just watched it. Well done. I hope they find the person who did this so the family can feel some justice has been done. Absolutely. Francie says, do you like small town America or do you think it's hell on earth? I don't think it's hell on earth. I'll say that. I think there's a lot of things to really love about small town America. Yeah, I don't think it's hell on earth at all. I enjoy going back to my hometown quite a lot, especially getting to see family and whatnot. But no, it's definitely not hell on earth. It's definitely a slower pace to a lot of other places, and that can be a very desired thing for a lot of people. So it's definitely good to go back and wind down. I'll just say that. No, it's definitely not hell on earth. This is not the United States either. Unless it's somewhere along the Rio Grande, but this looks like Central South America, possibly. Yeah, Alex says Brazil. Beach Gal says India. I don't know. I'm going to go like Guatemala. Not Guatemala, but maybe like Honduras. Maybe even south of Costa Rica. somewhere north of Colombia. Maybe Panama City. It's smaller, so we'll go outside. Oh, you were right. India. Who said India? Sylvia Roberts said India. So sorry. I should have gone with Sylvia. Sorry, Sylvia. My initial gut was South America, Central America, South America though. We got Peru. Lindsay guessed Peru. Okay, I'm going to leave this in the streets here, and I will go with one of the guesses that come through. Polly the Primate says that is not Central America or South. Okay, I will guess whatever Polly the Primate guesses on this next one then. If you know your locations, I'm stumped here already. This feels like Eastern Europe to me, but also I guessed completely wrong on the last one. So I would love to know what Polly the Primate says. Monique says, it seems as though many questions have been answered, and in a matter of time, all the pieces of the puzzle will be... Oh, okay, so it seems as though many questions have been answered, and in a matter of time, all the pieces of the puzzle will be put together. It could be. You never know. Carol says Detroit. This could be Detroit, to be honest, but no, wait. Is it? These license plate kind of look... No, this is not Detroit. Yeah, that's not English. That's funny that you say that, though. Yeah, hopefully, Monique, hopefully the right pieces will fall into place and law enforcement can figure it out. Beach Gal says L.A. No, I don't believe this is L.A. We're not seeing English. Oh, we only have 9 seconds. Okay, I'm going to go East Europe. Belarus, guess. Dang it, it's Mexico. The only reason I didn't guess is that Polly the Primate had not commented yet. It's very delayed, but I was going to go with whatever Polly the Primate said, and they never responded. So, once again, I was completely wrong, and we were back in Mexico on that one. Whoops. I'm not doing too hot here. Oh gosh, where are we? I smell wonderful food being made, by the way, too, so I'm going to have to end this stream very, very soon. All right, where are we at here? This feels like... Now I feels like Eastern Europe, to be honest. Like... Alexa says, friendly reminder, you can help the channel by tapping the like button. Please consider doing so now if you haven't. Thank you, Alexa. I appreciate the reminder to people. Yes, I know that there's still 72 people in the chat. If you haven't yet, please tap that like button. Poland. Yeah, Alexa says Poland. I don't know. We're going to go Poland. Oh, wow. Very close. Very, very close. Whatever city this is. What country is this? What is the country between Lithuania and Poland? I thought this was part of Belarus, but I guess not. What? Hold on. I gotta... What city or what country is this? What country is this? It doesn't say. Is it part of Sweden? Technically, is it? No, there's no way. Greece. Someone's saying Greece. It's definitely not Greece. Because Greece is way down here, yeah. Okay, well, let's do the last round here, and then we can finish up. Where is GeoGuessr? Where is GeoGuessr? Here it is. Last round. Lindsay says, based on the fall press conference, it seems like law enforcement are waiting for someone to bring them a name so they can compare DNA. Yeah. It says, and waiting for the lab to tell them what to do. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they're not just waiting for somebody to bring them DNA. Hopefully they're going back through their initial list of potential suspects and maybe getting DNA from family members. You know, they talked about good old-fashioned police work. They got to start doing that at some point. They can't just expect people to go to them with information. So yeah, hopefully that's what's happening. Bosnia. Oh, Bosnia. Was that Bosnia? I'm also stumped already on where we are right now on here. Honestly, this looks kind of like California, but it doesn't at the same time. I don't know. 52 seconds. Let's see. What does this sign say? Do we have English? Oh, yeah, we have what looks like it. Maybe. Oh, Monte Publico North 172. We got some latitude, longitude potentially on that sign. Let's see if we can see what kind of license plate this car has that passed us. Yeah, that's a long license plate. This is going to be like, it's going to be outside the U.S., guys. I think it's going to be like Spain or something. As weird as it sounds, like northern Portugal or Spain. Oh, yes, it is Spain. I got that one last minute. That's pretty good. Cocoa Puff says, watch the doc. You did an amazing job with it. I have to finish the last 15 minutes or so because I fell asleep, not because it was boring, but because I'm tired. No worries. No worries. Cocoa Puff, I appreciate you watching. It means a lot. Beach Gal, gotta run. Congratulations on the documentary. I'll be watching tomorrow. Beach Gal, we are going to be finishing up any second now anyways, so no worries on coming back. But thank you for watching. Oh, are you saying you'll be watching the documentary tomorrow? Please do. Thank you. Let me know what you think. Please share it with people if you feel so inclined. Feel free to tag me in that share. I will go like it and check it out. But thank you, Beach Gal, for being here. We're going to do one more round. Okay, one more quick speed round. I won't be able to use your guys' clues or tips because I'm just going to go through it quickly, and then we'll wrap some things up here. But thank you, Beach Gal, for being here. All right, where are we? Mexico, Western New Mexico. I already see it on the sign. Let's just go Western New Mexico. Looks like a decent-sized city, maybe, or a town bordering Western New Mexico. So we're going to go Gallup. Yo! Oh my gosh! I am 1 mile and 1.5 miles away. That is about as close as you could guess. Wow. I mean, granted, I did see the sign that said Western New Mexico, but I mean, that could have been any of these towns along Western New Mexico. I am very pleased with that. Okay. I'm sure these flags are very telling, but I do not know what this flag is. This is definitely not the U.S. These canals seem too small to be Amsterdam, but possibly. I don't know. Maybe somewhere in the Netherlands. Okay. Where are we? Speed round. I don't know. I'm still going to go somewhere in the Netherlands. Or maybe Norway. I don't know. Let's just go northern Netherlands. It was sweet. Finland. Still wasn't too far. This feels like the U.S. Maple Road. People driving on the right side of the road. These look like U.S. signs. Coolidge. Somerset Apartments. This feels like, I feel like Kansas City. I feel like there was a street in Kansas City called Coolidge. And Somerset. Why does that sound like Kansas City to me? Rite Aid? Wait. Where are Rite Aids? That's like First Watch. That's Birmingham. Huh. Rite Aid. I feel like I've seen those in Michigan. I'm just going to go somewhere in Michigan, even though I said Missouri. I'll go Lansing. Northern Detroit. Let's go. We're ending it on a bang. And even Loves Wood Heat says Michigan. Let's go. Let's go. The Rite Aid is what gave it away for me because I've been to one in Michigan. Even though I know that they're probably somewhere else. Okay, this is definitely not the U.S. Immediately. This freaking crazy tunnel. Immediately, we've got Asian, what looks like Asian writing. So we have an Asian country. We got some water. We're doing a speed round here, okay? I can't. Let's see. Asian country, like South China maybe. I'm going to just go to Japan, actually. Somewhere in Japan. Along water, like a river. We see like a river there, guess. Okay. Not bad. It's in Japan. West of Osaka, not bad. All right, last one here on the speed round. Shelly says Korea. Close, close. Once again, we are not the U.S. here. Sometimes Google blurs these, but can sometimes pull information from these cars and signs. This is like South America, Central America, though. It's got to be. Maybe Mexico even. It's pretty flat. What does this sign say? La Victoria. Oh, man. Only got a minute and 15 seconds here. Yeah, I was thinking, Karen, I was thinking Peru maybe as well. Let's go northern Peru, closer to Ecuador, because I feel like it might be Mexico or more Central America. Oh, wow. It's Peru. And it's northern Peru. Guys, I'm so glad I played another one. I crushed this. Look at these results. Look at that. We got the one in America right next to the border. This one's close. The furthest one was Finland. And that is not bad at all. 20,000, I think, is like or 25,000 is the highest you can go. Very impressive last round. Thank you for sticking around. Monty says, great documentary. Have a good day, folks. Yeah, Monty's peacing out. I'm peacing out as well. Monty, thank you for being here. Rite Aid sells the new vegan Reese's peanut butter cups. Interesting. I'll have to maybe check that out, or at least check out the ingredients in a normal Reese's puff. What makes it vegan? I don't know. I guess milk chocolate is not vegan. So I'm interested to see what that's all about. Diana L., thank you for the stream. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Did anyone else have any comments based on... Aaron, come back to True Crime YouTube. Beverly Lawyer says, come back to True Crime YouTube. Beverly, there's a chance that I'll cover some new true crime stuff in the future. But at the same time, this is such a huge case that I want more and more people to see. So I'm going to be talking more about the Dolly Madison murders. I know it's a case that's not a lot of people know about. And I know a lot of you guys are being introduced through the documentary and these live streams. So at the very least, I'm going to be talking more in the future, possibly next weekend, maybe next Sunday night, another one of these live streams a week from now. I'm going to be very busy throughout the weekend, but possibly next Sunday night, I'm going to be doing a reaction to my live stream or to my deep dive. So I might be playing this 2-hour deep dive and actually going through it with you guys live. And I know a lot of you who have seen it, that will be redundant and it doesn't make sense necessarily to do that. But I want to dive more into this process and into this case. And so that I certainly will do more on this channel. But as far as coming back to do more true crime YouTube stuff, I don't know. We'll see. Karen says, hey, Aaron and chat, just joining from England. Good to see you, Karen. Sean says, great job with the doc. Watched again with my missus. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, Sean. Kay says, Aaron, how did you decide who to interview? I literally started by just looking into the case and seeing names that were directly connected to it, whether it was people interviewed by local media over the last 20 years or people close to the case. And then I actually had a friend that was very close with one of the victim's best friends. And that's how it got me started with getting connected with the family, and ultimately figured out who to try to interview from that. Lockdown with April says, I've never heard of that case. Keep spreading awareness. Thank you, Lockdown. Thank you for checking it out. Free to watch down in Tubi, guys. Down in the description on Tubi. Please check it out. Like it on Tubi. Share it if you could and tag me. I'd love to see people sharing it around to new audiences. And yeah. Donut says, I've arrived late, but we'll rewind later. Donut, thank you for being here. My missus was shocked you did it when I told her we found you back on the Kylie Rodney case. Oh, very cool. Well, yeah. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Had to walk around Target with my headphones. That's awesome. Well, thank you for continuing to watch. Thank you for joining, Alexa. If I missed any comments along the way, you guys can always comment on the actual stream. I will respond to comments later on, because this video will be uploaded after the fact as a video you can go back and watch. So for now, thank you, Francie. We're going to end the stream. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for being here. Be sure to check out the Dolly Madison Murders on Tubi for free right now. For people like Karen in the UK, it will be coming soon on Apple TV and potentially some other platforms that are in the United Kingdom and other countries that do not have Tubi. So thank you guys for being here. We just hit the 2-hour mark. That's a good time to finish. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for being here and joining me. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.